নেতাজি নগর কলেজে সাংবাদিকতা এবং গণজ্ঞাপন বিভাগ এবং আইকিউএসির যৌথ উদ্যোগে জাতীয় স্তরের ওয়েবিনারের আয়োজন করা হয়েছে। এই ওয়েবিনারের অংশগ্রহণের জন্য সকলকে আন্তরিকভাবে শুভেচ্ছা এবং ধন্যবাদ জানাই। আজকে আলোচনার বিষয় একটি অত্যন্ত প্রাসঙ্গিক বিষয় নিয়ে, ফেক নিউজ ইন দ্য এরা অফ কোভিড-19, অতিমারির সময়ে ভুয়ো খবর। উক্ত আলোচনা সভায় মুখ্য বক্তা হিসেবে উপস্থিত রয়েছেন বিশ্বভারতী বিশ্ববিদ্যালয়ের সাংবাদিকতা ও গণজ্ঞাপন বিভাগের বিভাগীয় ভারপ্রাপ্ত মাননীয় প্রফেসর বিপ্লব লোহ চৌধুরী স্যার, এনএসএইচএম এর মিডিয়া বিভাগের প্রধান প্রফেসর দেবাঞ্জন ব্যানার্জি স্যার, প্রেস ট্রাস্ট অফ ইন্ডিয়ার চিফ কপি এডিটর শ্রীমতী রুমিলা সিনহা ম্যাম। আপনাদের কৃতজ্ঞ জানাই যে আপনারা আপনাদের মূল্যবান সময় আমাদের দিয়েছেন। আমি আমাদের বিভাগীয় প্রধান মাননীয় প্রফেসর শাশ্বত বন্দ্যোপাধ্যায় স্যারকে কিছু বলার জন্য অনুরোধ করছি। স্যার প্লিজ।
আজকে আলোচনা সেটি এই মুহূর্তে সারা পৃথিবী জুড়ে বহুল চর্চিত বিষয়। আমরা সবাই জানি যে আমরা একটা অত্যন্ত বিপন্ন সময়ের মধ্যে দাঁড়িয়ে আছি। পৃথিবীর আজকে গভীর থেকে গভীরতর অসুখ, মানব সভ্যতার একটা সাংঘাতিক বিপন্নতার মুখে দাঁড়িয়ে আছে। আজ থেকে 100 বছর আগে স্প্যানিশ ফ্লু যখন হয় প্রথম বিশ্বযুদ্ধের সময়, তখন আমার যত সোশ্যাল মিডিয়া কেন টেলিভিশন সংক্রমিত হচ্ছে গণমাধ্যমের একাংশে ভুয়ো খবর বা ফেক নিউজ, এবং এই দোষে দুষ্ট শুধুমাত্র তৃতীয় বিশ্বের গণমাধ্যমের এক অংশ বা সোশ্যাল মিডিয়া নয়, হ্যাঁ, এই দোষে প্রথম বিশ্বের গণমাধ্যমেরও এক অংশ দুষ্ট। আচ্ছা, আমরা দেখেছি যে চিকিৎসা বিজ্ঞানীরা সাংঘাতিক চেষ্টা করছেন সারা বিশ্ব জুড়ে। চিকিৎসা বিজ্ঞান কেন্দ্রগুলোতে গবেষণাগারে এই ভ্যাকসিন তৈরির চেষ্টা হচ্ছে। হ্যাঁ, এ নিয়ে নানা রকম ভুয়ো তথ্য আমরা গত 6 মাস ধরে নানা সময় গণমাধ্যমের বিভিন্ন অংশে দেখতে পাচ্ছি। এবং এই দোষে প্রথম বিশ্বের দোষও যেমন দুষ্ট, আমাদের দেশও, আমাদের মতন তৃতীয় বিশ্বের দেশগুলোর গণমাধ্যমও এই দোষে দুষ্ট। এবং এই যে ভুয়ো সংবাদ পরিবেশন কারা করছেন, তাদের কি কায়েমি স্বার্থ রয়েছে বা তাদের আসল উদ্দেশ্যটাই কি, এই সবটাই হচ্ছে এই মুহূর্তে একটা খুব বড় আলোচ্য বিষয়। মানুষের মধ্যে, বিশেষ করে আমাদের মতন একটি উন্নয়নশীল দেশে, মানুষের মধ্যে ভীতিকে সঞ্চারিত করা বা ভয় মানুষের মধ্যে ভীতিকে বাড়ানোর ক্ষেত্রে বা চাঞ্চল্য তৈরি করার ক্ষেত্রে এই সোশ্যাল মিডিয়ার একটি অংশ বা গণমাধ্যমের একটি অংশ জেনে শুনে হোক বা অজান্তেই হোক তারা এটা করছেন। অনেক সময় ব্লিসফুল ইগনোরেন্স খুব বিপজ্জনক হতে পারে। আবার এটাও আমরা দেখেছি প্রথম বিশ্বের দেশগুলোতেও কিন্তু তারা ব্লিসফুলি ইগনোরেন্ট নন, তারা এই জাতীয় সংবাদ পরিবেশন করার সময় কিন্তু তাদের রাজনীতিও কাজ করছে। যখন সোশ্যাল মিডিয়ায় আমরা দেখি যে মস্কোর রাস্তায় সিংহ নামিয়ে দেওয়া হয়েছে, ভ্লাদিমির পুতিন সিংহ নামিয়ে দিয়েছেন, তখন প্রথমে আমরা চমকে যাই। পরে বুঝতে পারি যে কোনো একটি ফিল্মের ক্লিপিং থেকে সেটাকে দেখানো হচ্ছে। এবং এটা বুঝতে অসুবিধা হয় না যে সমাজতন্ত্রের পতন আজ থেকে 30 বছর আগে হয়ে গেছে, কিন্তু এখনো কিন্তু পশ্চিমী গণমাধ্যমের এক ধরনের কিন্তু সেই পুরনো তারা কিন্তু সেই মেন্টাল ব্লক তারা কাটিয়ে উঠতে পারেনি। তারা কিন্তু পূর্বতন ইউরোপ সমাজতান্ত্রিক দেশগুলোর সংবাদের ক্ষেত্রে কিন্তু এখনো তারা সেই সংবাদ ফেক নিউজ পরিবেশন করতে তারা কিন্তু বিরাট। আজকে যারা বক্তব্য রাখবেন আমি জানি তারা এতটাই স্বনামধন্য যে সেখানে আমার কিছু বলার স্পর্ধা দেখানো কোনোভাবেই উচিত নয়। আমি আশা রাখবো যে এই আলোচনা মনোজ্ঞ হবে এবং এই আলোচনার শেষে শ্রাবণের ধারার মতো চিন্তা আমাদের মধ্যে ছড়িয়ে পড়বে, এই বলে আমি বলে আছি।
থ্যাংক ইউ সো মাচ প্রফেসর শাশ্বত বন্দ্যোপাধ্যায় স্যার, আপনার ইনফরমেটিভ এবং ইনসাইটফুল ইন্ট্রো দেওয়ার জন্য। আমি এবার আমাদের কলেজের ভারপ্রাপ্ত অধ্যক্ষ মাননীয় ডক্টর বিশ্বজিৎ ভদ্র স্যারকে ওয়েলকাম অ্যাড্রেসের জন্য অনুরোধ করছি। স্যার প্লিজ।
শুভ সন্ধ্যা। আমাদের যারা আজকে আমাদের এই ওয়েবিনারে যারা অংশগ্রহণ করেছেন তাদের সবাইকে স্বাগত। এবং আমাদের কলেজের ডিপার্টমেন্ট অফ জার্নালিজম এবং মাস কমিউনিকেশন এবং ইন্টারনাল কোয়ালিটি অ্যাসিওরেন্স সেল এর যৌথ উদ্যোগে আমরা আজকে আমাদের এই ওয়েবিনারটা করছি আর কি। এবং আমরা সবাই এতক্ষণে জেনেই গেছি আর কি যে ওয়েবিনারে আমাদের যে বিষয়ের উপর আলোচনা সেটা হচ্ছে ফেক নিউজ ইন দ্য এরা অফ কোভিড-19। আমরা জানি যে এই মুহূর্তে আমাদের বিভাগীয় প্রধান যেটা বললেন যে আমরা একটা অদ্ভুত সময়ের মধ্যে দিয়ে যাচ্ছি, যেখানে আমাদেরকে পৃথিবীর একটা গভীর অসুখ তো বটেই, এবং আমাদেরকে বলা হচ্ছে যে তোমরা তোমাদের সবার থেকে সবাইকে একটা দূরত্ব আমাদেরকে মেনটেন করতে বলা হচ্ছে আর কি। আসলে আমরা তো সামাজিক জীব, এবং আমরা ছোটবেলা থেকে শুনে এসেছি যে সামাজিক বন্ধন তো একটা তৈরি করতে হবে, শেষ কথা বলে আর। কিন্তু আমাদের এই অদ্ভুত পৃথিবীর অসুখ আমাদের আরেকটা শিক্ষা দিচ্ছে, কিন্তু তার মানে তো এই নয় যে আমরা আমাদেরকে সেই একটা বন্ধনের মধ্যে নিজেদেরকে আটকে রাখতে পারবো না। আমাদের নিশ্চয়ই আমাদের নতুন করে বন্ধন তৈরি করার আরেকটি মাধ্যম আমরা গ্রহণ করেছি, যেটা আমাদের এই প্ল্যাটফর্মটা, এবং এই প্ল্যাটফর্মের মাধ্যমে, যেটাকে আমরা ভার্চুয়াল প্ল্যাটফর্ম বলছি, সেই প্ল্যাটফর্মের মাধ্যমেই আমরা সবাই সবার কাছে পৌঁছে যাব, এবং যার মাধ্যমে আমরা আমাদের অন্তরের অনুভূতি, আমাদের সবার কাছ জিজ্ঞাসা ইত্যাদিগুলোকে আমরা শেয়ার করতে পারবো। এবং আমরা তো জানি যে এই বিশেষ অতিমারির সময়তে বহু খবর, ফেক নিউজ যেটাকে আমরা বলছি, বেরিয়েছে, এবং এই ফেক নিউজ শুধুমাত্র আমাদের রাজনীতির ক্ষেত্রে নয়, আমাদের সমাজের ক্ষেত্রে, আমাদের অর্থনীতির ক্ষেত্রে, আমাদের বিভিন্ন স্তরে এটা একটা তার প্রতিক্রিয়া আমরা লক্ষ্য করেছি আর। আমাদের আজকে যারা লার্নেড স্পিকার যারা আছেন, প্রফেসর বিপ্লব লোহার চৌধুরী, প্রফেসর দেবাঞ্জন ব্যানার্জি এবং শ্রীমতী রুমেলা সিনহা, তারা এই বেরোতে তাদের বক্তব্য মানে বিশ্লেষণাত্মক বক্তব্য রাখবো, এবং আমরা আশা করবো তার কাছ থেকে যে এই ফেক নিউজের ফলে সমাজে প্রতিক্রিয়া হচ্ছে বা আরো এবং এই সম্পর্কে আমরা একটু বলে রাখি যে যেহেতু আমাদের এটা জাতীয় সেমিনার, সুতরাং এই সেমিনারে একটা ভাষার তো সমস্যা আছে। আমরা বাংলা ভাষাটাকে বেছে নিয়েছিলাম, প্রথমে আমরা রাজ্য স্তরে পূর্ব হয়েছিলাম, তারপরে জাতীয় স্তরে। সুতরাং যারা বাংলার বাইরে আছেন তারা হয়তো আমাদের ভাষাটা বুঝছেন। So at the very outset, I must express my sincere thanks to those participants who have taken trouble to join this particular webinar. And it is my great pleasure to welcome you all in this national webinar that is jointly organized by the Department of Journalism and Mass Communication and the IQC of our college. And it is undeniably true that we are passing through a very crucial time when we are being asked to restrict our various social activities. After all, we are human beings, we cannot deny, and we are always looking for strengthening our social relations. But in this pandemic situation, we are socially, but there is no hard to get united through this type of exercises. So keeping this view in mind, we have taken this initiative on a very pertinent topic that has been chosen, that is fake news in the era of COVID-19. Really, different types of fake news, we are getting everything through various social media, whether these are related to whether am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah. And types of fake news we are getting every day through various social medias, whether these are related to politics, celebrities, the economy, society, or any other fields, which may create sensations among the people in a positive or negative note. So from the deliberations of our learned speaker, Professor Biplab Loha Chaudhary, Professor Debanjan Banerjee, and Srimati Rumela Sinha, we will get analytical views on this particular topic that we have chosen. I hope this webinar will enlighten us how should we judge news and what may be the probable consequences of fake news to the society at large. So I welcome on behalf of the college to all the participants who have joined this particular seminar. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, let me introduce our first speaker of today's webinar, Professor Dr. Biplab Lohu Chaudhary, sir. Dr. Biplab Lohu Chaudhary is in charge in the Center for Journalism and Mass Communication, Vishwabharati. He is editor-in-chief of international journal Peace Education Development. He had served as a country director in Asian Congress for Media and Communication for 4 years. His university teaching experience is of more than 20 years. He went to China, Hong Kong, Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, Bangladesh, and UAE during last few years for academic visit. He's singly authored 3 books, which include one of the leading Bengali medium book, Novo Madhyame Ruprekha, an outline of new media in Bengali, published from West Bengal State Book Board. Besides, Media Organization Management and Indian Paradigm of Development Standard and Communication. He occasionally writes post-edit in the Indian Express and Pioneer, etc. So, sir, please over to you, Dr. Biplab Lohu Chaudhary, sir. Sir, please.
আজকের বিষয় ফেক নিউজ। फेक কথাটা প্রায় বাংলায় চলে এসেছে। हिंदी में भी अभी फेक न्यूज ये जो लफ्ज है इसको बहुत ही यूज होता है। तो द फर्स्ट पॉइंट इज वी ऑल नो व्हाट इज फेक and we have our idea what is fake news. So I'll not go directly into it. আমি সরাসরি ওর মধ্যে যাব না, কারণ এটা মোটামুটি সবাই জানে যে ফেক নিউজটা কি। আসলে খবর যখন যাত্রা শুরু করেছিল, সেই যাত্রাটা হয়েছিল যে আমাদের চারদিক থেকে যোগাযোগের উন্নতির ফলে যে আমাদের বিশ্বের অভিজ্ঞতা, আমাদের চারপাশের যে বিশ্ব, চারপাশের যে পরিবেশ, এটা যখন ক্রমশ বড় হচ্ছে, তার সম্পর্কে আমি জানবো, তার সঙ্গে সংযোগে থাকবো এবং এই চারপাশের লোকেদের সঙ্গে ক্রমশ আমার চৌহদ্দিটা বড় হবে। সেই বড় চৌহদ্দিতে সবাই মিলে অনেক কিছু করতে পারবো। তার জন্য একটা সংযোগের মাধ্যম দরকার, যেখানে আমার যে মত, সেই মতটা কিন্তু অন্যরা জানতে পারে, তারাও তাদের মত দিতে পারে। এই ধরনের একটা বিষয় কিন্তু ক্রমশ শিল্প বিপ্লবের পর থেকে গড়ে উঠছিল। এটা কমপক্ষে 500 থেকে 600 বছরের ইতিহাস। তার আগেও অবশ্যই ছিল যে কি করে ওপিনিয়ন তৈরি হতো সমস্ত। তাহলে শুরুটা হচ্ছে নিউজ, এবং খবরের সঙ্গে প্রথম থেকে কিন্তু খুব অঙ্গাঙ্গিভাবে জড়িত ছিল একটা সত্যের ধারণা, ইংরেজিতে যাকে বলে ট্রুথ। একটা সত্যের ধারণা জড়িত ছিল। সেই জন্য আজও দেখা যায় যে সংবাদপত্র, বিভিন্ন টেলিভিশন, রেডিও, এগুলোর যে খবর, এমনকি আজকে যে বিভিন্ন সোশ্যাল মিডিয়াতে, বিভিন্ন ওয়েবসাইটে যে খবর, মানুষ অনেকটাই বুঝে গেছে যে এর মধ্যে সবটা সত্যি না, কিন্তু তা সত্ত্বেও একটা বিশ্বাসযোগ্যতার ভাব কিন্তু রয়ে গেছে। তার পিছনে কিন্তু মানুষের একটা খুব আদিম চাহিদা আছে। মানুষ অন্যের উপর নির্ভর করতে চায়, বিশ্বাস করতে। যেমন বাড়িতে মা বাবার উপর নির্ভর করতে চায়, দাদা দিদির উপর নির্ভর করতে চায়। আবার দিদি, সে যদি অত বেশি চালাক চতুর না হয়, ছোট ভাইয়ের উপর নির্ভর করতে চায়। ঠিক সেরকম আমরা নাগরিক হিসেবে এবং আমজনতা হিসেবে, সমাজের সদস্য হিসেবে, এবং আমরা যখন বাজারে কেনাকাটা করতে চাই, তারও ক্ষেত্রে আমরা কিন্তু যাদেরকে বিশেষজ্ঞ মনে করি যারা আমাদের ঠকাবেন না, তাদের কথা কিন্তু আমরা বিশ্বাস করি। কিন্তু আমাদের বড়ই দুর্ভাগ্য, এই যে আমাদের বিশ্বাস সাধারণ মানুষ হিসেবে, এই বিশ্বাসের জায়গাটাকে বুঝে যাওয়ার পর একটা বড় সংখ্যক মানুষ বিশ্বাসটাকে কাজে লাগিয়ে অবিশ্বাসের কাজ করে। যেখান থেকে সংবাদের শুরু হয়েছিল, যাত্রা হয়েছিল, সেই যাত্রাপথ থেকে যেন আমরা অনেকটা দূরে সরে যাই। এবং সংবাদ সত্যের সঙ্গে জড়িত ছিল। আজকে এমন ধরনের ভাবমূর্তি তৈরি হচ্ছে যে সংবাদ মানে হচ্ছে কিছু মিথ্যা, আমি আমার মতো করে কিছু তৈরি করলাম, কোনো না কোনো স্বার্থে, হয় ব্যক্তি স্বার্থে, অথবা কোনো গোষ্ঠীর স্বার্থে, অথবা কোনো রাজনীতির আশু প্রয়োজনে বা অর্থনীতির আশু, তাহলে এই যে ফেক বা मिथ्या संवाद, ये जो फेक न्यूज का जो सिलसिला जारी है अभी, इस सिलसिला में हम क्या खो दिया और क्या अभी हमारा है, ये समझना बहुत जरूरी है। कोविड पैंडेमिक 2019, এই যে কোভিড অতিমারি, এটাকে অতিমারি কেন বলছি, মহামারী বলছি না, তার কারণ হচ্ছে এটা সারা বিশ্ব জুড়ে ছড়িয়ে পড়ে। মহামারী একটা বড় দেশের মধ্যে হতে পারে, একটা প্রদেশে হতে পারে, কিন্তু আজকে এটা একেবারে অতিমারি হয়ে গেছে, প্যান্ডেমিক। এই যে প্যান্ডেমিকটা এমন একটা সময় হচ্ছে যে সময়ে সারা পৃথিবীর সবার মধ্যে কি সহজে যোগাযোগ হয়ে যাচ্ছে, হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ এনক্রিপ্টেড, ফেসবুক, ইনস্টাগ্রাম থেকে শুরু করে কত কিছুর মধ্যে দিয়ে, ইমেল থেকে শুরু করে, ফোন থেকে শুরু করে সমস্ত কিছুর মধ্যে দিয়ে কত সহজে যোগাযোগ হচ্ছে। আগে আমরা ভাবতে পারতাম, আমরা আগে এই বিষয়গুলো ভাবতে পারতাম না। এবং তার সঙ্গে সঙ্গে কি হয়েছে যে এই যে সংবাদ মাধ্যম, তারও কিন্তু গণতান্ত্রিককরণ হয়েছে, গণতান্ত্রিকীকরণ হয়েছে, ডেমোক্রেটাইজ হয়েছে এই স্পেসটা। আজকে যে কেউ ইচ্ছা করলেই কয়েকদিনের মধ্যে একটা ছোট্ট পোর্টাল খুলে ফেলতে পারে, নিউজ পোর্টাল। আর সেই নিউজ পোর্টালের জন্য তার অনেক সাংবাদিক রাখার দরকার নেই, সে এখান থেকে ওখান থেকে এগ্রিগেটরের কাজ করতে পারে বা কিউরেট করে নিজের থেকেই অনেক কিছু খবর দিতে। এবং আমরা দেখছি যে আজকে আমি সারা দেশের কথা বাদই দিলাম, বাংলার বিভিন্ন জেলাগুলোতে যে সাংবাদিকরা অন্য সংবাদপত্রে কাজ করেন, টেলিভিশন চ্যানেলে কাজ করেন, তারা স্থানীয় স্তরে এই ধরনের ছোট ছোট পোর্টাল খুলতে শুরু করে। এখন এই যে এত পোর্টাল, এত টেলিভিশন চ্যানেল এবং সংবাদপত্র যারা আজকে অফলাইন থেকে অনলাইনে যাচ্ছে, এদের প্রচুর খবর দরকার পড়ে। আর সব খবরের মধ্যে কিছু একটা অন্য থেকে আলাদা দরকার। এখন এই আলাদাটা তো সবসময় হয় না, আর অত্যন্ত গভীরে গিয়ে বিশ্লেষণ করা ও প্রচুর তথ্য জোগাড় করা, সেইটা জোগাড় করতে যে পরিমাণ সময়, যে পরিমাণ শ্রম, যে পরিমাণ খরচ এবং যে পরিমাণ বিপদ আছে আজকে এই অতিমারির দিনে, কোভিড 2019 এই যে সময়, দীর্ঘ সময়, এ সময়, তাতে করে কি হচ্ছে, আজকে একটা বড় প্রবণতা হচ্ছে খবর করাটার, যে অন্যান্য সোর্স থেকে দেখে নেওয়া, উৎস থেকে অন্যান্যরা কি করছে। আর দ্বিতীয় হচ্ছে লোকের সঙ্গে ফোনে কথা বলে, অথবা যে কেউ একটা ছবি পাঠিয়ে দিক, তাকেই বললাম আমি যে ভাই এর সঙ্গে কি হয়েছে একটু লিখে পাঠিয়ে দাও, এরকম 3-4জনের সঙ্গে কথা বললাম বলে খবর তৈরি হচ্ছে, ম্যানুফ্যাকচারিং অফ নিউজ। তো সাংবাদিক যে সবসময় মিথ্যাটা দিতে চাইছেন এরকম কিন্তু নয়, কিন্তু সাংবাদিকের হাতে থাকছে না অনেক সময়। আবার অনেক সময় এটাও সত্যি, এই সুযোগ নিয়ে বিভিন্ন জায়গা থেকে যে কিছু অর্থের লেনদেন হচ্ছে না, কোনো কিছু হচ্ছে না তা তো নয়, সেটা প্রচুর হচ্ছে। আমরা পেড নিউজ দেখছি সবকিছু। তবে ফেক নিউজ, পেড নিউজের মধ্যে তফাৎ আছে, ফেক নিউজ সাংবাদিকতার মধ্যেও বেশ কিছুটা তফাৎ। কিন্তু ফেক নিউজের আজকে বারবারন্ত হওয়ার এটা একটা কারণ, যে আজকে উৎসের কাছে পৌঁছনো যে বিপদ, অথচ মানুষকে খবরটা দিতে হবে, এর যে বাধ্যবাধকতা, এর যে উন্মাদনা, এই জায়গা থেকে প্রচুর লোক কিন্তু ভুল করে ফেলে। আমার সঙ্গে বেশ কিছু সাংবাদিকের কথাবার্তা হয়, তারা বেশ কজন প্রায় আলোচনা করেন যে দাদা জানেন তো, আজকে আমি না এই নিউজটা কিন্তু মিথ্যা হয়ে গেছে আমার, আসলে হয়েছে তার কারণ আমি যে লোকের উপর বিশ্বাস করে করেছিলাম, যে দুজনের উপর, পরে গিয়ে দেখলাম এর অন্য একটা দিক আছে, ফলে এটা আংশিক খবরও রইল না। কারণ খবর কখনো আংশিক হয় না, খবরের যে মডেল, সেই মডেলে খবরের উভয় দিক থাকতে হবে, অন্তত উভয় দিকের একটা অভিনয় থাকতে হবে, যে দ্বিতীয় পক্ষকে ধরবার চেষ্টা করেছিলাম। আবার প্রচুর এরকম খবর আছে যেখানে দুটো পক্ষ নয়, 3টে পক্ষ জড়িত হয়ে যায়, সেখানে 3টে পক্ষকে ধরা দরকার আছে। টেলিং till now, I was stressing on few points. The journey of news started for truth, for connecting with people at large with good intention, to serve the newly emerging democracies all over the world, But gradually what happened, though during this period of COVID pandemic, we are looking into that how heightened the phenomenon of fake news is. But this phenomenon of fake news started much earlier. It has become a trend. Is fake news death of news? Because news pertains to credibility. News has to establish its truthfulness, objectivity, none of which the fake news has. I would rather call it fake texting. Instead of fake news, let us say perhaps this is a fake text. I'll not talk on the different software by using which we can detect fake news to some extent. I'm telling some extent because if the fake news is ideologically ingrained and it is pretentious, in such a case, no technology can actually catch it. Even if you look into very big newspapers, you'd find very big portals, news portals, even they never talk about both sides of a person. There is a tendency of making people forget one side of a person. So fake news basically is faking in the guise of news. অর্থাৎ খবরের ছদ্মবেশে মিথ্যা পরিবেশনকে আমরা ফেক নিউজ বলতে পারি। একটা প্রশ্ন তোলা যায়, এই ফেক নিউজ কি আজকের অর্থনৈতিক অবস্থার ফল? এই ফেক নিউজ কি এই যে আমাদের বাজার অর্থনীতি যেখানে খুব দ্রুত মানুষ বড় হতে চায়, আবার দ্রুত সাংবাদিকরা বিপন্ন হয়ে পড়ে, এটা কি তার ফল? Is this the result of the market economy, the trend in market economy in which crony capitalism is growing, and as a friend of it, as an accomplice to it, the crony journalism increases? This question we need to look into in details. Perhaps my learned friends who will speak after me, they will take up these issues. I'll now look into another aspect of fake news. What impact does fake news make on our community life? What impact can fake news make on the national life and also in the personal life and family life of people? As because the pen is in my hand, as because I have a computer keyboard or mobile keyboard with me, can I simply write anything? Can I not restrain myself before writing anything? That requires a high level of competence. In the race against time, especially during this COVID, because every day a journalist have to produce 3-4, they have to construct 3-4 news. but they cannot go outside mostly. If they go more outside, then they would be in trouble. And the type of journalism which we do from home, there it becomes more analytical, but more analytical without much depth. Because depth requires your research, your access, and that access you cannot get always in the internet, etc. In this situation, when even the internet connectivity is not always working very well. I will be lucky if you can listen to my discourse uninterrupted. So the point is, what is the impact? The journalist should make a regular reporting on impact of fake information presented in the form of or in the guise of news. I know a colleague of mine in whose life the people targeted that person for his honesty, but he had some mistake somewhere. With such mistake, huge number of people have very respectable life, but this person was fallen prey of fake news, and trial, even before the media trial in the form of fake news, even before there was the actual verdict. As a result of that, the ignominy that the person got is tremendous, but more than that, his daughters, the social outcasting they faced, two children, that became very, very bad, pathetic. Loss of years in education, loss of friends, everything. So this is at the family and individual level, the loss due to someone's irresponsible or journalism of greed or journalism of acknowledging someone helping at some point of time can create disaster. We also know that the news making, if you take the case of the law of CAA, it has been passed all over India in mainstream media and in many websites taking from them that CAA is against one community. It's not. Go into the law, you'd find the people of the community in this country who are citizens of this place, they are never at any devastating point. But the news organizations, many of them, not all of them, have presented it in such a way that people forget it. Is it not that in the guise of news, faking creates a great trouble? I understand the question of equality in front of law, but that is for the citizens of this country. And the reason there, the three logics. Most of the people did not talk about it. I had no objection if they had taken both sides together. And when the news was done, both sides were always taken care of. Because in a country there should be argument. And in a country like India, there should be argument. And that is one news which created devastation at the national and the societal level. During COVID, there was other problems. We had done a research during this COVID in several villages of Bengal, trying to understand why people were not following the norms. Till today it is happening. Why they are not following the norms? Only finding fault with fake videos. I'm not talking about news. Finding fault with videos from some quarters are not the complete truth. There are many fake news from different portals and even newspapers actually made people believe all rumors. And these rumors had created havoc in our villages. In case of cities, the rumor mill spreads very fast. In case of village, less number of people, but it also spreads very fast. So fake news had actually fueled to a great extent, or suppression of news also. Suppression of news is also an act of faking. In a sense, when I'm suppressing something and instead of that, I'm telling you something else, the opportunity is lost. So at three levels of the society, there is bad impact of fake news. I do not know whether any people try to fake in the guise of news for doing some. I have not come across such type of news which is for the purpose of good, because fake news, the falsehood in the guise of news, can never be for welfare of the society or country. What we need to do from our college level to university, we need to have a better media literacy. I'm not talking in terms of so-called technology, etc. I'm just talking about how through regular reading and study of different sources, the student get their conscience clear to suspect there may be something wrong here or there. That requires an experience with the world and also with the news world. So that regular habit of reading or regular habit of listening to different sources on the same news is very important at this point of time. And also it is very important that we create, already there are some, but we create regular web presence to make people aware in the communities about what fake texts are dished out as news to them. তাদের কাছে কি ধরনের মিথ্যা তথ্য পরিবেশন করা হচ্ছে, কিভাবে মিথ্যা পরিবেশন করা হচ্ছে খবরের নামে, সেইটাও কিন্তু মানুষের কাছে পৌঁছানো দরকার। এবং তাতে আমাদের সাংবাদিকতা, গণজ্ঞাপনের, আমাদের সবারই একটা বড় ভূমিকা রয়েছে। এই বলে আমি আমার বক্তব্য শেষ করছি Again, thanks to Netaji Nagar College, Department of Journalism and Mass Communication, and the principal of college and head of the department, Dr. Bandopadhyay, and Saddam Hussain, assistant professor who is coordinating, and all the faculty and students of the college for being with me for say around 30 minutes almost. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, sir, for this very engaging and enriching মানে এত সুন্দরভাবে ফেক নিউজ আর কোভিড-19 কে উপস্থাপন করার জন্য। I am sure that your deliberation will help the learners as well as all our participants to become aware of the fake news during COVID-19 in the time. Now let me introduce our next speaker for today's webinar, Professor Devanjan sir. Professor Devanjan Banerjee, an author, speaker, and a senior media educator, had an extensive industry experience of 7 years in leading print and online platforms like the Times of India, the Times Internet Limited, as copy editor and content editor. Since 2005, Professor Banerjee is involved with full-time media academics. Presently, he is the head of the Department of Media Department, NSHM Knowledge Campus, Kolkata. He is also the head examiner and board of studies member, Media Maulana Abul Kalam Azad University Technology, a leading state university. He is also the visiting professor of Satyajit Ray Film and Television Institute, Ministry of IB. And he has already authored 2 books for the postgraduate media students. Both the books are in the compulsory media syllabus list of leading Indian universities. He also contributes for leading national and international news sites, magazine, and newspaper. So, please, sir, over to you, sir, and continue your speech. Thank you, sir.
Good evening, everyone. Especially, I would like to thanks Netaji Nagar College Department of Journalism and Mass Communication for organizing such an interesting webinar at this crucial and critical juncture, fake news in the era of COVID-19. I'd also like to thanks the teacher in charge of this esteemed college, Dr. Bishwajit Bhadro, Professor Shashwat Bandopadhyay, head of the Department Journalism and Mass Communication, and Professor Pinaki Ranjan De, coordinator of IQAC, and definitely last but not the least, Saddam Hussain, assistant professor, Department of Journalism and Mass Communication, Netaji Nagar College. So today's topic is very interesting. We must be knowing that since December 2019, in a small town in China, Wuhan, and there is an institute called Wuhan Institute of Virology, they started experimenting a virus, and ultimately that virus leaked from that particular institute, and that ransacked the whole world. At this point of time, presently, if I consider today, the 25th of July, almost 1,60,00,000 people of the world is affected in that particular virus, COVID-19, vis-a-vis Corona. Not only in the world perspective, the death toll in the world perspective is nowadays, today is more than 6,54,000, if I'm not wrong. In India also, 13 lakhs people till today is affected. More than 31,000 people already deceased in India. In West Bengal, the toll is almost 2,500 and more than 54,000 people affected. So absolutely this pandemic has ransacked the whole world, not only in terms of death, but socio-economic in every part. The whole world has been completely jeopardized because of this dreaded virus. Now the question is whether the virus is already responsible for making this devastation. Apart from this virus also, nowadays we are all confined at the home. We are consuming news. We are all consumer of news every day. Once we wake up, we read newspapers, we watch television channels. Now added thing is internet and the smartphone. Everybody is very much eager to use their smartphone, and we are all becoming media consumers, especially in this era of the smartphone and this internet era. Everybody has become heavy media consumer. As per Pew Research, the famous American research organizations, there are 3 kinds of consumers in media. One is called the moderate consumer, one is called the low consumer, one is called the heavy consumer. In terms of a low consumer, at least 0 to 6 hours is considered as low consumer. In terms of 6 to, on an average, 10 hours is moderate consumer, and the heavy consumer is beyond 10 hours. After this pandemic, especially during this pandemic phase and when the lockdown started, even in our country from, I guess it is 26th of March 2020, when Prime Minister announced the lockdown. So we are all confined at the home out of compulsion because we cannot go outside because the pandemic may hit you and people are getting affected. Despite of government reminders, people are going outside to an extent, but still maximum people are confined at our home and we are all busy with consuming news. We are reading newspapers, we are watching television channels, and last but not the least, our mobile phone having an internet connection is on 24/7, almost in 3 international time zone, GMT, IST, and Pacific Standard Time, PST. So we are all becoming heavy consumer. Being a heavy consumer, what we are doing, we are consuming news. Not only consuming news, we are immediately disseminating the news to hundreds and thousands of our friends with the help of WhatsApp. We are forwarding the news. Not only in the WhatsApp, we are tagging the news. We are uploading the news on our Facebook. We are uploading the news in all other probable web portals, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and whatever news we are getting without verifying, without cross-checking, without having any knowledge about the news, without even reading the news, without having any special knowledge about the news. If we find there is no similarity between the headline and the content, without judging this, we are spreading this news. In most of the cases, these news are not correct. These news are coming in terms of 3 kinds of fake news, which I will discuss later on. One is called misinformation, one is disinformation, and one is malinformation. সুতরাং বারবার বলছি, প্রত্যেকে যেটা করছে, মুহূর্তের মধ্যে খবরটাকে নিচ্ছে, খবরটা না পড়ে খবরটাকে মুহূর্তের মধ্যে ছড়িয়ে দিচ্ছে ফেসবুকের মারফত, হোয়াটসঅ্যাপের মারফত. So this is another biggest ever pandemic at this point of time. COVID-19 is definitely a pandemic, but this fake news syndrome and proliferating this fake news to hundreds and thousands of people is another psychological pandemic, which we are doing sometimes subconsciously, consciously, and unconsciously. So try to understand, this is high time not to spread this kind of misinformation, malinformation, and disinformation, because this can create more problem, because the news is dealing with a very, very sensitive thing. What sensitive thing is? It is dealing with a pandemic. It is dealing with a pandemic, its reason, its origin, its socio-economic impact, its vaccine, what can be the remedies, how to eradicate or mitigate the pandemics. Hundreds and thousands of stories are coming, flooded on social media platforms, different websites, and without judging this, we are disseminating this. Before I go to this, exactly my previous speaker, learned speaker, discussed many things about this fake news. But I can understand today there are lots of participants are present, and they are all media students, some scholars are also there, and maybe some future journalists, because all these media students, those who have enrolled in this course, they have made intention to become a journalist. So before I going into the intricacies, let me explain you what exactly fake news is. A little bit of definition I need to explain in front of you. Fake news, also known as junk news or pseudo news, is a type of yellow journalism or propaganda that consists of intentional disinformation. I repeat, intentional disinformation or hoaxes spread via traditional news media, print, and broadcast, and nowadays on online social media. The fake information is often caused by reports, paying sources for stories, an unethical practice called checkbook journalism. Digital news has brought back and increased the usage of fake news or yellow journalism. The news is often reverberated as misinformation in social media, but occasionally finds its way to the mainstream media as well. So try to understand, this fake news is spreading in everywhere, in newspaper, in television channel also. But the biggest ever malady of this fake news, the platform which practically spreading this fake news is the social media. So I can say in another way, the fake news is a neologism often used to refer to made up news. This news is basically made up news just to serve the vested interest of the power corridor. It can be the power corridor, it can be the business corridor, it can be the political power corridor, it can be anyone. Those who are making this news are making this news and ultimately spreading the news just to serve their own purpose, but ultimately at the cost of the human lives. This type of news, found in traditional news, social media, or fake news websites, has no basis in fact, but is presented as being factually accurate. Now, the interesting part is nowadays, because in this era of technology, like this technological era, people can easily book a domain, come up with a website, and definitely with some very good design and animation, they can come up with a site. Definitely they can get some news, they can aggregate the news from different news agencies, copies or the sources. They can copy paste the stories, they can just manipulate the stories as per their own intention, and they can upload the news. And once it is uploaded, it is going to be spreaded by their own team among different people, and these people, without checking, like we also, those who don't have the proper media literacy, or we are unable to understand the story. Without understanding the story, we have some of our personal biases. On the basis of that personal bias, what we are doing, we are spreading the news. So the intent and purpose of fake news is important. In some cases, what appears to be fake news may be news satire, which news exaggeration and introduces non-factual elements that are intended to entertain or make a point rather than to swindle. Propaganda can also be fake news. Some researchers have highlighted fake news may be distinguished not just by the falsity of its content, but also the character of online circulation and reception. So we must be knowing, during the Second World War time, the term propaganda started when one of the minister of Adolf Hitler's government, Goebbels, he was appointed as a propaganda minister to spread some fake news. With that fake news is just to glorify the Hitler government. The same propaganda is coming nowadays at this 21st century in the name of fake news, when some political parties or some individual or some business groups are spreading this fake news just to serve their own purpose, right? So before I go into the depth of this fake news, let me understand, there's a famous journalist, her name is Claire Wardle. Claire Wardle, the spelling is Claire-Wardle. Please, once this webinar is over, please check from your Google. You'll be getting all her contributions about this fake news. She's a very renowned person while dealing with this fake news. So interestingly, according to Wardle, first draft news, she used to come up with a newsletter that is called First Draft News. She identified 7 types of fake news. Number 1 is, please listen carefully. This is very interesting because we know the fake news, but there are different types of fake news. Some fake news is not to harm exactly. Intention is to not to harm, but some fake news is definitely harmful. So there are 7 types of fake news. Number 1 is satire or parody. No intention to cause harm, but has potential to fool. Satire or parody means no intention to cause harm, but has potential to fool. The second one is false connection. False connection means when headlines, visuals, or captions don't support the content. I repeat, false connection. When headline, visuals, or captions don't support the content. Number 3 is misleading content. Misleading content means misleading use of information to frame an issue or an individual. Misleading use of information to frame an issue or an individual. Number 4, false context. When genuine content is shared with false contextual information. That is also very another kind of fake news, false context. When genuine content is shared with false contextual information. Number 5, imposter content. Imposter content. When genuine sources are impersonated with false made-up sources. I repeat, imposter content when genuine sources are impersonated with false made-up sources. Number 6, manipulated content when genuine information or imagery is manipulated to deceive, as with a doctored photo. I repeat, manipulated content when genuine information or imagery is manipulated to deceive, as with a doctored photo. I can give you an example right now. Professor Bandyopadhyay, Shashwata Bandyopadhyay gave an example of Vladimir Putin's the story that all the animals are roaming on the streets, but it was absolutely fake news. Exactly, I can give an example of proximity. Like recently, you must be knowing in Howrah, when this pandemic is going on, government has imposed curfew, and it has been shown in a particular place in Howrah, and there are lots of videos came within 5 to 10 minutes that the people are roaming on the streets, and they are violating this lockdown, and when police is arresting them, they are hitting the police and they are creating some chaos on that particular area, and ultimately that led to lots of annoyance on social media. Even the newspaper coverage came, but ultimately it was found later on the whole photographs were not of Howrah. It was a photograph not only in our country, it was a picture of the other neighboring country which has been shown as Howrah, and which created a huge panic among the public. This kind of fake news is extremely detrimental. That can lead to blasphemy, that can lead to defamation, that can lead to sedition also. Like if I show something which practically is tarnishing the image of one particular religion, by showing this doctored village, accusing that particular religion, if I show something which practically accusing a country or a state by showing something wrong doctored video, if I show something which is practically tarnishing the image of an individual, that can lead to defamation also. So there is a huge amount of legal consequences may also crop up because of showing such doctored video. So you can understand this manipulated content is extremely harmful, another kind of fake news. The seventh is the fabricated content, where the new content is 100% false, designed to deceive and do harm. So there are 7 kinds of fake news. I repeat once more: one is a satire or parody, one is false connection, one is misleading content, one is false content, one is fabricated content. But the question is, apart from these 7, this fake news is to come in different formats. The formats are following. First is misinformation. Broadly, there are 3 formats. In these 3 formats, the fake news used to come, and that is practically tarnishing the real news. Because nowadays the fake has become 90%, and we seldom get a real news. We are all skeptic. We are really apprehensive what kind of news we are practically consuming. Like being a media educator, I was also working for industry for more than 7 years while dealing with this social media, because once I was working for this Times Group when this internet or this .com concept came. Even from that day when the consumers were very less in numbers in terms of mobile phone users through internet, people used to consume news through only from their computers. But even those days also, there are lots of fake practically creating problem. But nowadays it has become a pandemic. Now let me explain you that there are 3 ways the fake news used to come, and which is practically creating problem for us. First is misinformation. Misinformation is nothing but false information disseminated without harmful intent. I repeat, one is misinformation, that is nothing but false information disseminated without harmful intent. The second is disinformation created and shared by people with harmful intent. The second is disinformation, which is nothing but created and shared by people with harmful intent. And the third one is malinformation, the sharing of genuine information with the intent to cause harm. So there are 3 kinds of fake news. I right now explained there are 7 types, but these 7 types used to come in this 3 way. One way is the misinformation, the second one is disinformation, the third one is malinformation. Misinformation is nothing but false information disseminated without harmful intent, disinformation created and shared by people with harmful intent, and malinformation, the sharing of genuine information with the intent to cause harm. Now you need to understand, that is the core of all discussions today's webinar, that COVID-19 and the era of fake news, whatever it is you say, how to identify this fake news. Because it is you need to differentiate between the milk and the water, right? So if the milk is less and the water is more, it is you need to detect this. Because you are the person, you are consuming news, you will be responsible to spreading the news if it is false. If it is spreading from your end, maybe you will be in deep trouble because it has been spreaded from your IP. If you have been caught later on that it has been spreaded from your end, then you will be in trouble. So You are the person, you are the checkbox. You need to check that. You need to understand fast that what exactly the fake news is, how to identify the fake news. Number one, consider the source. Consider the source to understand its mission and purpose. Try to understand, consider the source first to understand its mission and purpose. Number two, read beyond the headline. Read beyond the headline. Read beyond the headline. We often commit this mistake that without reading the content, just to overview the headline, we come to a conclusion and we start spreading the news. So to understand the whole story, you have to go beyond the headline. Number three, check the authors to see if they're real and credible. Check the authors to see if they're real and credible. Number four, assess the supporting source to ensure they support the claims. I repeat, assess the supporting sources to ensure they support the claims. Number five, check the data publication to see if the story is relevant and up to date. You often find some stories when maybe some particular individual, he is spreading the news, he's a supporter of one particular political color, he or she wants to jeopardize one particular political party who that particular political party is against his or her own philosophy, and what exactly he or she is doing, he's extracting some old news which practically tarnishing the image of his opponent political party, and he's sharing the news as a present news. So try to understand, in such news as you need to go through the date line of the news. If the news is the old one, you should not consider this. That means the intention is to tarnish someone's image, some political color's image. So he is bringing or extracting the old news and presenting the news as that it is a very current news. So check the data publication. Number six is ask if it is a joke to determine if it is meant to be a satire. Sometimes the intention is not bad, but the intention is to ridicule. Okay. So the seven is review your own biases to see if they are affecting your judgment. So we are all biased to an extent, but try to understand once we are consuming news and once we are spreading the news, please review your own biases. And the last one is ask the experts. Take, for example, if your friends, relatives, teachers, and acquaintances, if they're in the media field, if they're the media educators, if they're in the media profession, please ask them 10 times, 15 times, or call them or verify them that whether this news is correct. So it is you to detect the fake news. It is you have to prevent the news. Some mechanisms have come up definitely just to check the fake news, but these are very intricate and complex mechanisms which is very difficult for the common people to understand. So in this 8 points, you can become a self-media literate person, and you can definitely mitigate this new pandemic, fake news, at this COVID era. It is very difficult for you to eradicate fake news because eradication is impossible, because there's a vested interest. You must be knowing as a mass communication students, those who are the students and the scholars, that there's an agenda setting theory. There's an agenda setting theory. There's an unholy nexus between the power corridor and the media proprietor. So definitely on that particular area, you cannot do anything. But from your part, you are the person, you can definitely mitigate this new pandemic fake news. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. সত্যি খুব মানে একটা ইনসাইটফুল আমাদের তথ্য এবং আমাদের কিভাবে সচেতন থাকতে হবে এত সুন্দরভাবে উপস্থাপন করার জন্য। Thank you so much, sir, again for these wonderful sessions. I'm truly humbled by your numerous insightful contribution to this lecture, and thank you for helping us become more aware of the problems and the ways in which we can be able to solve them. So let me introduce next speaker. Mrs. Rumela Sinha ma'am is a chief sub-editor with the Press Trust of India. She takes keen interest in political developments, social welfare stories, and films irrespective of genres. Along with her 8 and 10 hours editorial desk job, she also reports on issue of social justice and human interest. Her work has appeared in frontline dailies, the Times of India, the Telegraph, and Hindustan Times. Thank you so much, ma'am. Ma'am, over to you, please, ma'am.
So, my learned co-panelists have already mentioned some very pertinent points. I'm just going to add to it. India has a very rapidly growing internet base. So, fake news menace in India is probably also growing at a very faster pace compared to many other countries. So we can say that currently India is fighting two pandemic. One is the COVID-19 pandemic or the coronavirus pandemic, and the second would be the disinfodemic pandemic or infodemic pandemic, however you may call it. Now, what is happening is that this fake news pandemic is probably traveling at a faster speed, and has probably a more lethal effect than the COVID-19 pandemic. So, my learned co-panelists have already said much about what is fake news and, how big is this menace. I would just straight away get into some examples. Even before COVID-19 arrived, social media was rife with fake news. Some conspiracy theories, some magic cures. Every other day, our social media and WhatsApp are flooded with such news. There lies the problem. As much as media should be responsible about giving out the news, there's always a rush to give out the news first. So, because of that, often media end up, some mainstream media too end up giving out a wrong piece of information, which goes viral. But, when it comes to mainstream media, they always have this responsibility of correcting themselves, because often what happens is that, since I belong to a media house, cases are filed against these media houses if they tend to give a wrong piece of information. So the responsibility lies with them that they correct that piece of information. So what happened, you guys are all aware, is that when COVID-19 started spreading fast in this country in March, this Tablighi Jamaat incident had happened. And a lot of fake news and fake videos started doing the rounds. We could say that it was targeting a particular community. Some wanted to, some did it intentionally, and some had no idea if it was true or false. They did not go and verify that piece of information and shared those videos. Some turned out to be doctored videos. There was this video of a man running around breaking glasses with no clothes on. And, it was shared as, a video from a quarantine center where a Tablighi Jamaat person is being held, not held exactly, has been quarantined because of this, he has tested positive for COVID-19. But turned out that it was a fake video from an asylum in Pakistan. This is just one of the many examples I'm giving. And then somebody had rightly mentioned, what impact does it have on our everyday life, on the economic part? It has a huge impact. For example, when fake news was circulated about lockdown, every other day there would be a fake news that government has decided to extend the lockdown, even when the government hasn't, and there would be army taking over the streets and nothing would be available. People resorted to panic buying. And because of that, many ended up buying more than they need, and there were some who couldn't get the essential items. Again, there was in between there was this fake news that studies have revealed that COVID-19 pandemic can also spread from chicken consumption, meat consumption, and people stopped buying chicken, meat, whatsoever, and that did hit poultry business to an extent. So yes, it also has an economic impact. And because there are some, who do it intentionally, it has also led to chaos and disorder. People have targeted communities. People have targeted a particular section of people, particular section. That has led to disorder and chaos, and these are the things that we don't need right now, the last things that we need right now. We don't need it all because we're already fighting a pandemic. So the question remains again, what should we do? This is a menace, a huge menace, and it's not just restricted to our country. Everywhere it's the same. As much as the government and the media houses are responsible, so are we. So if we could start, regulating and verifying the sources of information and what we share on WhatsApp, I think this could be handled to an extent. For example, as somebody rightly mentioned, that every other person is opening a news portal these days. I don't even know if I should call them news portals, because more than news, they give out fake news, colored news. So don't share them without verifying or checking them online. It doesn't take much. You have a piece of information, you might be tempted to share it immediately with your friends, but it wouldn't take long to just check it online. Go and check it online if some mainstream media houses have carried it. If not, don't share it. Wait and see if somebody else, some responsible media house is carrying it or not. If not, don't share, because chances are likely that it's fake. Whatever you get on WhatsApp, some are so well represented. They'll have a name of the doctor mentioned, they'll give phone numbers and everything, that they look completely true, entirely true. But on several occasions, we have seen that those are not the truth, like those are fake news. So it's okay if you find a sensational piece of news and you want to share it with 10 people, but don't do it immediately. Talk to 5 more people who think that who you think know better than you about the pandemic, about whatever is happening. And this fake news is not just limited to this pandemic only, although it is doing more harm now, because as Mr. Debanjan Banerjee has said, that we are restricted to our homes and we actually don't have much to do. Many of us don't have much to do, so we are hooked to this social media profiles, accounts, and that is why this dissemination of fake news, I think, has increased. So yeah, my point is that wait, just don't hurry, don't rush to give out the news. And you see something on TV, sometimes what happens is that even mainstream media give out wrong information, not intentionally. They are also in a rush to give out the news. But you will see that after some time, the ticker changes and they actually apologize, or they actually give out the right piece of information. So what we can do is that, verify that piece of information with the newspaper the next day. Newspapers have more responsibility because they cannot change the ticker. Whatever is out in print is out in print. So they take more responsibility in giving out that piece of news. They will have, an analysis to go with it. So go for the newspaper, print media, print news, which comparatively is more authentic. And which something that is more important is that just don't jump to conclusions by reading just one para or the headline of the news. Go through that piece of news, go through that video. If there's something that you find is, the quotes that is used in the copy or the video that has been attached with that particular copy doesn't seem real, just don't share them. If it is too sensational, if it can create chaos, if it is targeted towards one community, just don't share them. Not everything needs to be shared. This tendency of sharing every piece of news that we get is actually leading to more harm than good. So yeah, I would just like to sum up. Fake news menace is something that has entered our drawing rooms and living rooms and bedrooms. But if we're actually serious about fighting this menace, we need to start from our drawing rooms and bedrooms itself. I think we should have more such discussions, on fake news, on why it should be curbed and how it should be curbed. I would suggest that some of you also go through some news websites which have taken up this responsibility of debunking myths. Since we are talking about the COVID-19 pandemic, there is a separate section of Mythbusters on World Health Organization's website. Go through that. There was this fake news that you have to keep your throat moist always to kill the virus. And some said that, in the summers, the viruses would die. None of that actually turned out to be true. So go to World Health Organization's Mythbuster section. You'll see that a lot of myths have been busted on how to use a mask and what medicines to take, what medicines not to take. Apart from that, there is this PIB fact checking, which is a government body. They have a Twitter account, they have an Insta account. Every day they take the pain of going through pieces of information that people have given out, WhatsApp or online or Facebook, wherever, and they debunk it. They tell you that no, this piece of information is fake. There is also a website called Alt News, and there are a few actually. Quint has a web poof wing which also does this. India Today has this wing where they debunk myths. Go to those websites. You'll find a lot of news are fake. A lot of news have been given out by some with vested interest. Some have also asked that, are there politics involved in it? Definitely. Some also do it very subtly, but they have some political intentions in mind. So we need to steer clear of that. And for that, we need to be very careful. We should be the ones who should be judging a piece of news before giving it out. If you find some 3-4 media houses, top media houses have carried it, media houses that are into this business for a long time, go ahead and share it. That to use your discretion. As I said, if it's something very sensational, it's best not to share it. People would get to know anyway. You're not doing them any favor. So yeah, this is a major menace, and it has hit us, many of us, in a very bad way. And it's time that we, stand up to it and we fight against it as much as we fight against this pandemic, because it is also creating a lot of trouble in our society and the world at large. I would like to, end saying that be responsible, be careful, and take care, because these are unprecedented times, and I'm sure many of us are going through a crisis. So yeah, take care, all of you. Thank you,
ma'am. Thank you so much. সত্যি আজকের ঘটনাগুলোকে নিয়ে একটা সুন্দরভাবে উপস্থাপনা করলেন. Thank you so much. It was absolutely incredible how you tailored your message for the audience and captivated from the beginning of your lecture to the end. It was simple yet extraordinarily profound and effective. Thank you so much. Question answer session চলে যাচ্ছি। প্রথম কোশ্চেন পার্থ কর্মকার প্রফেসর বিপ্লব রয় চৌধুরী স্যারকে জিজ্ঞেস করেছেন। asks to sir, what are the impact of fake news in the life of simple general?
If we look into our intelligentsia, from where the news fraternity comes, you'd find there is sort of elitism. Now, the way these elite people look into what is to be served, what is not to be served, and at its extreme, resort to taking recourse to falsehood in the guise of news, that actually creates great problem for common man. What the common man wants? Common man wants peace. Common man wants security. Common man wants to love the country as their own. Common man does not want to divide people in the line religionism, and in that there is a great role of presenting the news from all sides. I have taken 2 examples. One was about PA news and another was about during COVID time. The news fraternity should have been very, very cautious, because during this COVID pandemic, the international relations are in jeopardy, and that's because the people of every identity lives in India. The data went out. So I had to do it hurriedly. Okay. So the point I was telling, during COVID period, there are many things at stake in the life of common man, as well as in the life of the country. So in case of common man, what happened? The branding of people to a behavior pattern which happened due to a small section of people in one religious group. The newspapers and the television channels should have told it. A wrongdoer is a wrongdoer. He has no religion. He has no sectarian identity. And the duty of the state, the duty of the country's government is to take all such errors into custody. The framework of law. Presenting frame where a community is being put into dock, a religion is put into dock. Because if you look into, in many countries which are theocracies, there also the government had taken very strong steps. The state governments have taken very strong steps, because law and order is in our state, within the state control. You do lapses and then you tell as per someone, and that sort of news actually come into fake news. Why it is fake? Because it's a presentational fakeness. In a democracy like India is not a theocracy. Every citizen is the same. Present your news on the basis of that. And that had created huge trouble in the life of common man. There are many other occasions. I'll not go into that. I'll stop here.
স্যার সেম কোশ্চেন্স অ্যাকচুয়ালি একটা কোশ্চেন্স অনেকজন জিজ্ঞেস করেছে, আমি সেটা তুলে ধরছি আর কি। হাউ শ্যাল আই জাজ দ্য অথেন্টিসিটি অফ আ নিউজ? নেক্সট কোশ্চেন্স, হাউ টু ডিফারেন্সিয়েট অ্যাকচুয়াল নিউজ ফ্রম ফেক নিউজ? And next questions, how to identify fake news and manipulated news? And same questions like this. How do we clarify that which news is fake, and how do we stop spreading fake news? So that
Right.
yes, sir.
When I was talking about the end of that, how we can stop it, I talked a little bit about. I'll start from that. How the fake news spread. See, the fake news starts circulating if it comes from a television or a news. Today, every newspaper or television pieces, these are immediately carried in social media. So the person either who are having that orientation, that wrong orientation, or the person who become very enraged, this type of people start circulating. Maybe without knowing that these are fake. As because it has come in a newspaper or in a television channel, so it is accepted as ready. More such happenings are there. So people now with circumspect, they look into the news presentation. What is the difference between fake news and manipulated news? See, why there will be fake news? There may be two reasons. One is the journalist is befooled, or the other is the journalist or the media house, it wants to have some intention to spread fake information. These are the two reasons. So in first case, the journalist is manipulated without any understanding. So the journalist requires to be having a better understanding of third level of media literacy, which is the media literacy for the media producers, media production creators. And if the organization itself wants to spread the canard, gujab chharate chahe, rumor, so it resorts to fake news. In such a case, the government must have a very strong regulatory mechanism of quickly intercepting, especially today in the social, as because everything comes in social media. So the interception mechanism must be very, very strong. The other point that has been asked is, how do I differentiate between the two? I've already told that fake news is not based on truth. A person having a wider experience in life and also believing in people would never act on the basis of fake. See, we cannot stop fake news completely because people would publish news without checking for money. People would be befooled so that they spread some message which they feel are important but which are not. So in such cases it will continue. It should not impact us. I must know he is my neighbor. I must protect him. I must protect him. This is for everyone from every religion, every sect, every caste, every gender. It's very important.
Thank you so much, sir. Your answer were very insightful, and আমরা সবাই অবশ্যই স্যাটিসফাইড সত্যি। নেক্সট আমি চলে যাচ্ছি দেবাঞ্জন স্যারের কাছে। অনেকগুলো কোশ্চেন আসছে, কিন্তু আমাদের সময়ের সাপেক্ষে সময় দেখতে গিয়ে আমরা একটু সেটাকে যতটা পেরেছি চেষ্টা করছি আর কি, যে কয়েকটা কোশ্চেন তুলে ধরার আর কি। So Devanjan sir kache questions. Sir Shanunda Shan লিখেছেন, can fake news be taken as paid news also? Next questions, can reputed newspaper can speed fake news to get popularity? And Priyanka Chatterjee, how we avoid fake news? And next, what are the responsibility of common people to restrict the spread of fake news? Sir, kindly.
Okay, so I have already discussed all points, the questions, the 4 questions in my lecture session, but still I am repeating. First, I am answering the last question. The last question is, yes, we cannot eradicate this fake news, but yes, we can definitely mitigate the fake news. The first precondition to mitigate the fake news is to have some media literacy. What exactly all my learned friends mentioned in their speech, that yes, media literacy is utmost at this critical and crucial juncture when we are consuming huge amount of news. We are all consuming news more than 10 hours in a day, courtesy these smartphones. almost in the night also our phone is on and we are consuming news. In the morning, once we wake up and we are disseminating the news without reading and cross-checking the news. First is, yes, you have to cross-check the source. Number one. Number two is, again, I'm just telling in terms of points, because you are all students, you are all research scholars. So first is, you have to cross-check the source. Number one. Number two, read beyond the headline. Yes, this is the biggest ever problem for us. We don't check the content and the headline. Once we are glued with the headline, once we are excited with the headline, without going through the content, we start disseminating the news, spreading the news, right? Check the authors. We never check the authors. Assess the supporting sources, which my learned friend Rumela ma'am mentioned. She is working in PTI. Even I was working once in Times of India, in Times Internet Limited, IndiaTimes.com. Assess the supporting sources. Take, for example, I can give you a very interesting example. I could remember once I was in the desk when this Indian plane was hijacked in Kandahar. It was a very old story. It's a flag in 1999. So we used to take the news from AFP. AFP was the provider of our news. They're the news agency, the French news agency, Agence France Presse. So they are sharing the news from their own point of view. So once they're sharing this news to us, they are writing in this way that Masood Azhar, the dreaded terrorist, is responsible for the hijack of this Indian Airlines plane to Kandahar. And what exactly India is claiming, he's a dreaded terrorist, but according to Pakistani government, he was a Muslim cleric, right? So try to understand, this particular news agency, as a French news agency, they're giving a third party view, because as per the diplomatic immunity, French government and the French news agency cannot give a story in favor of India or in favor of Pakistan. They will be definitely giving the third party view. Now it is a responsibility of the journalist first to cross-check it, whether it is a copyrighted one. If it is a copyright between India Times and AFP, we cannot change the content, because we are bound to give the AFP story because we have a contract. But once we are rewriting the story, for example, we cannot write Masood Azhar is a Muslim cleric or a Pakistani terrorist, or government of India is claiming he's a very dreaded terrorist. So thing is that in that case, we have to cross-check at least 3 to 4 websites, authentic websites or authentic news portals. It can be India Today. On those days, it was India Today was there, and some other leading like Yahoo, MSN. Then and only then we can disseminate the news. So try to understand, the biggest challenge for a journalist, first, the check has to come from the journalist's point of view, that he has to dish out the right story with unbiasedness and without having any fake ingredient. Then you are the person, you need to cross-check it from many people. Now, the next point is check the date of publication. Another remedy point, ask if it is a joke and review your own biases and ask experts. Another part of the question is whether the paid news, whether the fake news is a paid news. Yes, to an extent, the fake news is also paid news, just to serve the vested interest of particular political corridor, power corridor, or it can be a business power corridor. You must be knowing nowadays that there's an agenda setting theory. There's a theory already being set up among the power corridor, the unholy nexus between the power corridor and the business people, and they sometimes spread the fake news, and it is absolutely made up news. So it is you are the person. You have to become a media literate person, then and only then you'll be able to check this or mitigate this fake news. Rumela already mentioned about some quaint websites, some India Today website, and from PIB, Press Information Bureau fact-checking website, you can definitely go through and you can differentiate the milk and the water. Okay.
থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার, থ্যাংক ইউ। ম্যামের কাছে চলে যায়। ম্যামের কাছে দুটো কোশ্চেন্স রয়েছে। একটা রয়েছে যে has there any punishment for the news channel to display a fake news? And another question is, this is very sensitive issue. Is there a lot of fake news about religion? Ma'am, please.
Yeah, sure. So there is this Epidemic Act, Diseases and Epidemic Act, which accordingly, you know, if there is fake news disseminated about this pandemic and this Epidemic Act, then yes, it is punishable. It's a punishable offense. Apart from that, you know, if you check, Maharashtra government has also started a new, taken up this whole thing, and they've decided to punish anybody spreading fake news. If they're found doing so, they'll be punished from like 3 to 5 years in jail. So yeah, in certain pockets, and there are variations, there are many aspects of law under which people might get punished due to fake news, especially if it leads to some kind of chaos, disorder, problem, or even riots. But having said that, whoever has asked that question is a very pertinent question. I think there has to be more laws, more pertinent laws about social media regulation, which is still lacking in our country. And as Debanjan sir has mentioned, media literacy is also very important. So there has to be campaigns on, there are a section of people who might not be exposed to these television and newspapers, and whenever these Twitter facts and all are debunked, they might not get access to those information. So there has to be some campaigns or some NGOs which could help people identify fake news from actual truth facts. Apart from that, yes, there is a need for some regulation of social media, some regulation of whatever is being given out on WhatsApp to help curb this menace. There was also another question, right, about religion.
Is there a lot of fake news about religion?
Religion, yes, of course. There's a lot of fake news on religion at times, which are deliberately sent by some people, and some share it without knowing it. So yes, sometimes religions and people belonging to a particular religion are targeted. So that is why this whole session, this discussion on fake news is more important. Somebody had mentioned about CAA, Citizenship Amendment Act. So during then we did find out a lot of information put out by some people are fake. So yes, religion, caste, different people, ours is a very diverse country, but then some people do give out fake news to target a particular section, a particular community, and that also needs to be checked. We all need to be sensitive, not one or two of us, and only if we are sensitive enough, each of us, only if we are responsible enough, each of us, I think we can help stop this whole menace.
What I can say that in the existing law of Indian Penal Code, we have Defamation Act under Section 499. We have blasphemy, which is basically religious harm. So this existing law can be definitely enforced if the fake news leads to some kind of defamation, which is practically afflicting or inflicting one particular religion in the name of blasphemy and sedition. Apart from this, we have the existing Information Technology Act 2000. There are lots of provisions there within this act by which definitely we can detect the culprit, and we can definitely punish them. But despite of all these existing acts, definitely it is high time that the Indian Penal Code has to be revamped and come up with some more regulations just to check this fake news, because lots of fake news is practically tarnishing the image of a religion, a caste, a creed, a community, even the country also is the offender. So naturally our existing laws are there, but definitely the time has come to revamp this law and come up with some more laws to counter this fake news.
Also, I can add, like, if you individually spot a fake news, and if you know that it's fake, do send that message out to your friends as well. And if you find a source which is actually giving out fake news, you can report it on social media too. That way you are doing your bit. That is all we can do. I think this problem can be mitigated to a large extent.
Actually, we have started planning that as an extension from our Center for Journalism and Mass Communication, we'll offer the service. We are actually preparing few students for that. We'll offer the service of identifying the fake news and spreading the message in the community. But that cannot be done simply if we consider we have to understand the entire communication loop. That is not possible only if we just send, after detecting in the web media, we just send this. It's not possible. It requires a networking of people. It requires a networking of maybe 2-3 academic institutions in such type of departments can come together, and through that network in Bengal, we can create an environment to fight against fake news. This is, we have already started thinking and preparing in that line. So I would expect that from your end also, if there are proposals, we will be going with that. Thank
No, very good suggestion. We are the people. We have to be a part to eradicate this pandemic, fake news.
So please drop me a letter. Drop me a letter. Mail. You have your my mail. We can come out with solution. Okay.
Thank you so much, sir. It is a pleasure and privilege indeed to hear from all of you. We are truly humbled by your numerous and insightful contribution to this lecture. আমি এবার চলে যাচ্ছি আমাদের কলেজের IQAC এর কোঅর্ডিনেটর মাননীয় অধ্যাপক পিনাকি রঞ্জন দে স্যারকে এই ওয়েবিনার সম্বন্ধে কিছু বলার জন্য অনুরোধ করছি। পিনাকি স্যার।
Good evening, everybody. I will first of all say a few points as a layperson on behalf of today's topic, and then on behalf of Internal Quality Assurance Cells IQAC of our college, I will offer my heartfelt thanks to all concerned on today's webinar. Regarding today's topic of the webinar, I think it is a very pertinent one, and as a layman I can say that we are being advised regarding several do's. For example, you have to wash your hands frequently, you have to use sanitizer, you have to wear mask, you have to maintain social distancing. Now, after today's topic, I have been enriched that another do we have to follow. We have to take proper precaution while accessing some news related to COVID-19. So that is my perception, first of all. Secondly, I want to mention that all our learned speakers have dealt with on suppliers' side, that is from the viewpoint of the news persons, media persons. But as a consumer of news, I think there must have some responsibility on the demand side, that is on the part of persons like us who are accessing the news. I think while dealing with a particular news, not only related to COVID-19, on any news, we have to keep in mind that the basis of news changes with time. We have to apply our rationality, we have to apply our logical sense of mind while determining the sanctity or propriety of a particular news. That is my perception. A few days ago, while going through an editorial article read by eminent pulmonary expert, I was coming across one information, and before that I was very panicky when I come about the information that COVID-19 has become airborne. But after accessing that news, I have got some confidence. No, this is not such serious. There must have some other points which are also to be considered before becoming so much panicky. He wrote in his article that whenever any person talks, some percentage of droplets or aerosol come into air. But when an infected person outcomes such droplets or aerosols, then whether you will be infected or not, that will depend upon some scientific parameters. That is, whether that infected person you are coming across that infected person while he is just talking, or while he is singing, or he is coughing, or he is sneezing, that will vary. Because the speed at which the droplets are coming out of that some infected person, that is one parameter that will determine whether you will be infected or not. Another parameter is that droplets are subject to gravitational force, but aerosols, which are smaller in size, which are the nuclei of the droplets, those are anti-gravitational. That is, they are gravitational free, so they can move into the air. So to what extent or to what vicinity you are with the affected person, that is another consideration to decide as to whether the pandemic will be airborne or not. Another important parameter he mentioned in his article, that the speed of the air from which the droplets or the aerosols are coming out from the particular infected person, that is another point. Density of population where from the droplets are coming out, that is another parameter. So if you satisfy all these parameters, then only there is chance of being infected because of that airborne reason. So after that, I have my panic has to some extent reduced, that no, it is not uniform or universal for all persons, but these factors, these scientific reasons are also to be taken into mind before accessing this particular news. So I am really enriched from today's discussion. So as a layperson, I must think that while accessing a particular news, we also have to be responsible. Even sometimes after consuming a particular news, while we supply those news among our relatives or fellow persons, we camouflage the news. So that should not be done. That is an important responsibility. Apart from the media persons, that responsibility comes on our part, that is the consumer of the news. So that is my perception about today's topic. Now, on behalf of the Internal Quality Assurance Cell IQAC of our college, I first of all at the outset must offer my heartful respect and thanks to all three learned speakers, Dr. Biplab Loh Choudhury, Dr. Debanjan Banerjee and Madam Rumela Sinha. All these three learned speakers have enriched us in a very erudite style, and we have been very much helpful from their resourceful deliberation. Thank you all, sir, on behalf of IQAC of our college.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next, on behalf of IQAC of our college, I must offer my respect and sincere thanks to our teacher in charge, Dr. Vishwajit Bhadro, for offering his, as always, administrative support and motivational support in organizing these very interesting webinars. Next, I will offer my sincere thanks to the faculties of journalism and mass communication department. I must mention by taking this opportunity that Professor Saddam Hussain is carrying out his moderating task with a temperature of 105 degrees Celsius in today's morning. So he is so sincere, he is so sincere to his responsibility that even with carrying with this high level of temperature, he is conducting these webinars in a such lucid manner. And there are another two junior faculties in our department, in the journalism department. One is Professor Balaram Mistry and another is Anindya Banerjee. You all know that today is lockdown going on in Calcutta. But in order to ensure the smooth availability of network, which is a constraint for conducting webinars smoothly, they have assembled in Professor Shashwat Banerjee's house by taking risk and taking special permission from police headquarters at Lal Bazar. And after accomplishing all their responsibilities, they will again return back to their house. So thanks to all faculties and students who have made an untiring efforts for making this today's webinar a grand success. And last but not the least, I will offer sincere thanks and heartfelt respect to the participants of today's webinar who have participated across India, and without their active participation, today's webinar could not be of such a high level of success, could not have attained such high level of success. So again, thank you all on behalf of the IQAC of our college. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
থ্যাংক ইউ সো মাচ স্যার, এত সুন্দরভাবে আমাদেরকে করার জন্য সত্যি আমরা সমৃদ্ধ হলাম। থ্যাংক ইউ সো মাচ স্যার। আমি এবার চলে যাচ্ছি আমাদের বিভাগের প্রধান বিভাগীয় প্রফেসর শাশ্বত বন্দ্যোপাধ্যায় স্যারকে ভোট অফ থ্যাঙ্কস এর জন্য। স্যার প্লিজ।
আমি নেতাজি নগর কলেজের
থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার
সাংবাদিকতা গণজ্ঞাপন বিভাগ IQAC এবং IQACর তরফ থেকে আজকের এই ওয়েবিনারের সন্ধ্যায় অংশগ্রহণকারী তিনজন মাননীয় বক্তাকে আন্তরিক ধন্যবাদ এবং অভিনন্দন জানাচ্ছি এবং কৃতজ্ঞতা প্রকাশ করছি। তিনজনের মধ্যে দুজন একেবারে একাডেমিক পার্সপেক্টিভ থেকে বিষয়টির উপর আলোকপাত করেছেন। বিপ্লববাবু যেখানে বৃহত্তর প্রেক্ষিত থেকে তুলে ধরেছেন আর্থসামাজিক ব্যবস্থা এবং বাজারি অর্থনীতির এতে কি ভূমিকা থাকতে পারে, সেখানে দেবাঞ্জন কতগুলো থাম্ব রুলের কথা উল্লেখ করেছেন যে সংবাদপত্র পাঠ করার সময় শুধুমাত্র হেডলাইন্স বললে চলবে না, বিয়ন্ড দ্য হেডলাইন গিয়ে সংবাদপত্রকে ঠিক মতন পাঠ করতে হবে। অল্প কথায় বলছি, একজন প্র্যাকটিসিং সাংবাদিক হিসেবে অত্যন্ত মূল্যবান কতগুলো কথা বলেছেন প্রেস ট্রাস্ট অফ ইন্ডিয়া চিফ কপি এডিটর শ্রীমতী রুমেলা সিনহা। আমি এ নিয়ে বিশদে এখানে আলোচনায় যাচ্ছি না। আমি আন্তরিক ধন্যবাদ জানাচ্ছি বিভিন্ন কলেজ বিশ্ববিদ্যালয় থেকে এই আগত অংশগ্রহণকারী মাননীয় অধ্যাপক এবং অধ্যাপিকাদের, রিসার্চ স্কলারদের এবং আমার স্নেহ ছাত্রছাত্রীদের যারা শুধুমাত্র আমাদের কলেজে না বিভিন্ন কলেজ থেকে এখানে এই ওয়েবিনারে অংশগ্রহণ করেছো। আমি আন্তরিক ধন্যবাদ জানাচ্ছি আমাদের কলেজের অধ্যক্ষ ডক্টর বিশ্বজিৎ ভদ্রকে, যার পৃষ্ঠপোষকতায় এই অনুষ্ঠানটি আমরা আয়োজন করতে পেরেছি। ধন্যবাদ জানাচ্ছি আমাদের কলেজের ইন্টারনাল কোয়ালিটি অ্যাসুরেন্স সেলের কোঅর্ডিনেটর কনভিনার অধ্যাপক শ্রী পিনাকি রঞ্জন দেকে, যা নিরন্তর উৎসাহ আমাদের এই কাজটি করতে উদ্দীপিত করেছে। ধন্যবাদ জানাচ্ছি আমাদের কলেজের অধ্যাপক এবং অধ্যাপিকাগণ, শিক্ষাকর্মী বন্ধুদের, যারা স্বতঃস্ফূর্তভাবে এই আলোচনা সভায় অংশগ্রহণ করেছেন বা প্রত্যক্ষভাবে বা পরোক্ষভাবে এই অনুষ্ঠানটিকে সাফল্য মণ্ডিত করার জন্য হাত বাড়িয়ে দিয়েছেন। সকলকে ধন্যবাদ।